Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Blueski fame. And the first time in a few weeks that A, we've done an episode, and B, we've done one without Geo. We're temporarily done with Attack on Titan. Who knows if we'll come back to talk about the other. It sounds like there's various spin-offs I'll never watch, but it sounds like they're there. No,
I mean, there's just like one-off extra stuff you can watch. Well, no, I wouldn't call them spin-offs.
I
They're just like extra material you can, like a couple episodes here and there.
I've already committed to these movies, these like 120-minute One Piece movies that Geo discovered. That there's like, I'm gonna misquote. I'm sorry, One Piece fans and Geo. That there's like two movies that he didn't know existed from the late 20 teens that essentially encapsulate like the first 30 episodes or something like that of One Piece. So,
So you can just watch those instead.
yeah, but 30 is not a whole lot, but it's
That's true.
120 minutes,
What's
240 minutes divided by 20, 12 episodes. Okay, so they cut it down to, like a third. Cut it down to 40%. So, yeah, I've already committed to watch two other movies. We'll see how that goes. I'm not worried. I enjoy One Piece. I just don't enjoy the Luffy voice actor or the time commitment. But when I watch it, I'm not sad. But anyway, maybe Gio will be back next week to talk about Korra. He's almost done with Korra. In the meantime, we're going to re-record an episode that we did record, and then I assume that I did some operator error nonsense in the middle, just muted for a big chunk of it. There's the unimportant elements in the middle, any of the boring one. Everybody cares about the bottom and the top. So we're going to re-rank bending and sub-bending. But first, before we get to that, Chris, how you doing? How you been? It's been a couple weeks.
doing fine. Every now and then I feel like I don't know what I'm doing at work. But that's fine also. Uh, what else? What was that? Oh, for some reason, I watched two movies that are really popular for the first time. I watched Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time. I've never seen it before.
Okay.
Until then, the only Indiana Jones movies I've watched is Crystal Skull. And honestly, I don't get the hype about Indiana Jones. I mean, it was solid 7.5 out of 10. Then I watched a couple nights ago Terminator, the first Terminator film.
Oh, okay.
Liked that a lot. Thought that was great. Before this, the only Terminator movies I've watched were T3
Okay.
and Terminator Salvation. And so I don't know what's this thing with me that I will have seen the crappiest versions apparently of some of those franchises or low points without seeing the beginning and high points. I'm just like, all right, this movie's out, and I'll go see it without
the age at which those movies hit, right? Like, did you see the Star Wars prequels before you saw the actual Star Wars just because of the age?
I did go. The prequel stuff.
I think I had watched the original trilogy at some point, right? But not like in an intentional way. Like, it was just another set of movies on the shelf. When the prequels came out, as a big deal. The first one, even though they were not my favorite, but they were popular. They were everywhere. So of course I did.
Yeah, when I watched them here and there if they're on TV. I watched the episode 1 when it came out. Loved episode 1. Holy crap! Like, man, I remember in 5th grade, just had one thing. Those were they Dr. Pepper cans or Pepsi cans?
I can't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking. I think there are Dr. Pepper cans with pod racers on them, and they looked great. They looked great.
Yes, loved. And then like after that, like just I remember just picking up. I remember being a kid and with other kids, just picking up sticks and pretending like they're lightsabers because those lightsaber fights were so cool. And then before episode 2 came out, I rented somehow either my mom or someone rented it for me. But I did watch all the Star Wars films and thought they were whatever. Which even now I think they're whatever, except for Empire Strikes Back.
I think that
But
before I saw the
sorry,
movies,
I'm now just laughing at everyone jumping on me. At the
oh,
top.
that was so great. It was so good. You're like Star Wars or Star Trek, and there's a murmur, right? A happy murmur. No, not even happy, but like a murmur. Like people are they're talking, and then you're like Star Trek, and then the room just explodes. Oh, it was glorious. It was glorious. You
And I was like, Star Wars is overrated.
you're wrong. You're wrong, but it was
And then
glorious.
yeah, and then I continue I was trying to get keep moving forward, but then I kept thinking like, oh no, and then I do see John in the back. John just like, stop.
The one of us who has the most like stake in that comparison is back there trying to cut you out. The I before I saw the movies, I got like Hot Wheels. It might even be Hot Wheels or Matchbox branded. And they're pod racers, but they had like interchangeable pieces. Kind of, it was like 3 parts, so you'd pick a front, a middle, a back, and I loved it, and that's what made me want to see the movies. And then in the movie, I didn't even really like the pod racing scene, but I still like the idea of pod racers. And there's pod racer video game that's good.
Yeah.
And then I gotta be honest, that Darth Maul, the like Darth Maul fight scenes, like those are just really cool choreographed. They're great. But T1, love T1. Chris, T2, love it even more. Watch T2 someday.
I heard T2 was great. I went out of my way to get Paramount Plus 7-day trial just so I can watch it.
I don't view either you or I as like a special effects snob. I feel like you and I both be the type of people who will like, credit for trying, I guess. Happy to suspend disbelief. But special effects people go like insane for what they did in T1 and especially T2, like little model semi that actually did explode, but like is a little RC model semi, just hyper realistic detail, like things like that. They go insane for T2 for the time. So good for those people, I guess. But keep your eye.
There's some really bad CGI in T1, but also I'm just like, I don't care. Like the thing is, visually, James Cameron he's a great subtle storyteller, and just in the way that like the Terminator first looks all human, and just slowly he's losing that humanity, and by the end of it, he's just a machine. So like you can have crappy, I don't know, art, but still making a way that you're like, okay, I see the artistry here, and I see what they're trying to do, and it still looks appeasing in most moments.
He's great at framing scenes too, which I'm going to assume in the 1980s had to be one of the biggest tools in your arsenal because it was the 1980s. But he's great at framing scenes. So yeah, tell me what you think of T2 when you get to that. I'm curious.
I'm excited for it. I've only heard good things.
Chris, we took Geo on vacation. It was great. We overate, and I don't think I'm a beach person in general, right? Like I just want to relax on my vacation. Bottom line, wherever that is. But we went on vacation. It was cool, and then we got home, and I'm about to the end of my parental leave. Heather and I staggered our leaves. So naturally, for some reason, I got re-addicted to the Yu-Gi-Oh card game on the Nintendo Switch, and I've almost 100%ed it. What a very bland vanilla card game or video game built around a decent card game. Brings me back to the good old days, but I digress. Let's rank some.
I like how you went on. Wait, I like how you went on vacation during your paternal leave. That's like when I had my first child, and I took off like 2 weeks. I don't know. My wife took off 2 weeks. My mother-in-law wanted to watch my daughter for one day, or whatever, and I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead, watch. And so I went to the movies. And then, like on Facebook, I wrote like my review of the Amazing Spider-Man. Wait, no, it would have been Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, probably. Because then Mo was like, "Chris, aren't you supposed to be on parental leave and you go into the movies?" And so I was like, "No, I was I mean, I was, but also I wasn't.
I mean, I don't think they're allowed to care. No, I listen. So Heather doesn't even get leave per se. Hers is a different kind of like long-term illness bank or whatever. Like she'd been saving up a long time. Her parents have been waiting for like a decade for a kid to
Oh yeah.
watch. And yeah, he was like 9 weeks old, so he spent 6 whole days with Grandma and Grandpa Hoskins, and everybody was delightful. He's a super easy baby though too. They'll never listen to this. They probably think they did an amazing job. Like, oh, he's so happy and good all the time. I was like, no, he just is. But all right, you did a normal job with a great baby. That's what you did. No, I think everybody had a great time, and so yeah, it's good. I'm ready to get back to work just for like schedule. Like I'm
What
ready to be on a normal schedule.
not to prolong this. I only been to the beach once, but I enjoyed the most just sitting at the edge of the beach and just letting the waves come towards me and leave. Like I could just sit there like all day.
I I don't like the scent of most of the beaches I've gone to. Just that like seawatery scent. And I'm I'm like an olfactory sensitive person. And so that's one. And then it's always windy. I don't really love wind. But like if I can relax there, which is a beach, I can. I enjoy it. I don't need a beach to relax. All I need. I know I live in Kansas. It's weird. I think just like you always see people just like relaxing on a beach, on like a calm beach and playing. I've never been to a beach where it feels like waves just weren't really choppy and the wind wasn't heavy. I don't know if I'm going to the wrong beaches or what, but whatever. Like I said, I like to relax, and I'm not bad at relaxing most places. If I have a chair and access to food, I'm probably fine. Probably fine. Anyway, yeah, let's rank some sub bending or bending / sub bending elements. There are 19 of these. I figure we'll spend a smidge more time on the bottom just because that's funnier, and a smidge more time on the top because that's more important. And if there's a place, not that we'll go fast through any of it, but if there's a place where we'll spend a little less time, it's probably in the middle-ish section. But I think we'll just go back and forth or snake draft style.
Yep.
Okay. I'll go first. Why not? Chris, my number 19 is sand. And I think I even argued, be on a list, sand is just tiny pieces of earth. That's stupid. That's not even a sub-bending. That's dumb. And also, is it good anywhere else? And I think the answer is no. They're not creating sand, Chris. It's not like lava bending where they're turning a rock into lava and then bending. It's like, no, it's just sand that's already there. Not fond of sand bending. 19.
I agree with that assessment. Sand is my 19. Yep. It's fine. It's been such a long time since it's been probably at least 3, maybe 4 months since we recorded that episode.
I bet it was before Christmas.
I don't remember our actual conversations about it, which is good. It makes re-recording.
Man, when I screw up, we got to put episodes off longer again. It works.
Yeah. Sometimes we record like the next week. No, sometimes we're like halfway through recording something, and you're like, "Oh, I messed up," and then we kind of regurgitate whatever we say. Anyway,
and then it's hard because you don't remember what things you said in between and what you actually said on, and then when you repeat a joke, it's never funny.
Yeah.
19 cents sucks. Spend something
19
else.
Cents. Yeah.
Chris, go ahead with 18.
My number 18 is spirit bending. Not to be spirit bending in the sense of like the only 2 spirit benders we see is Korra and Unalaq. Like that they can bend the wheels of spirits. I don't know. That's not that cool. I mean, I guess someone can make it cool, but it's one of the least appeasing, elements to me.
Chris, just as we were talking a few minutes ago, when you told me what episode we were actually doing and not the one that I thought, and I went through and I looked at this list, And something you said last time must have impacted me because I moved spirit bending down to 18. Um, and so whatever you said last time stuck with me. It's one of those that sounds cool, like face value. It's like, oh, spirit bend. It's like, oh, that's awesome. What do you do? And then they explain it. You're like, oh, okay, good, cool, all right. And so that's my 18 as well. And Chris, I'm going to tell you that I was waffling 18, like, again, just a few minutes ago when you told me which one we were doing. And I was just rearranging things lightly, nothing serious. But my 17 is truth seeing, and I was waffling back and forth there. I do like truth seeing in that you're not literally seeing what people are thinking, because most of the time I don't want to know that. But I think it would be problematic for me to always just, like, somebody's walking by talking to their friend, I'm, oh, that person's lying. I think that would just make me uncomfortable all the time. And I don't have a whole lot of use. You know, I trust people, and usually I'm in places where if they're being dishonest, it's probably hurting them more than me, or it's just my trust, or I don't know. So I don't have a lot of use for truth seeing. That's why it's my 17. I waffled 17, 18.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. My 17 is wait, 17, yes, my 17 is, man, this is actually seismic sense. It's one seismic sense.
This was our first big one last time too. I think that we.
Yeah, seismic sense isn't like, I think people overhype seismic sense. People think of seismic sense as having like almost precognition, and it's not. It's just like being able to see on a different level, being able to see the vibrations of physical objects.
I've always thought of it as sonar for your feet, right? It even takes time for it to travel. It's not instantaneous. There is a latency to it. So definitely not pre.
Yeah. So yeah, seismic sense.
I do see the utility. Well, we'll talk when I get to it.
Oh, cysteine. I'm going. Cysteine. I like this element. I like the sub element. But it's really not. Honestly, probably could be lower. It's not that useful. Spirit projection. We see spirit projection really only from Genora, and yeah, like in my head at first, I was gonna think maybe it's. You know what I was thinking about ability could be is like someone spirit projects someone else, like the way. I always misremember this, but did Yang Chen kill her sister through something like that?
How did she kill her sister? There was a physical manifestation of something.
Yeah, I'm always iffy on that for some reason because I know I completely misread it the first time.
It was not that it was bad writing at all. That's not what I'm trying. But it wasn't super intuitively clear. Like I had to reread it specifically, and it clearly didn't stick.
But it might not have been spirit projection. Either way, Janora's the only one that uses spirit projection, which is like, hey, it's great for reconnaissance, and that's it. I think.
Yeah, replacing the telephone, which they don't have, so I guess it's a fine replacement. Chris, I put it. Are we on 16? That's where it is for me too.
Oh, nice.
I just being hard on like the non-tangible bending styles, I guess too. I can't see a pragmatic day-to-day use for it. That's all it is I tend to base things like how much would I use this, and the answer is not very much. So that's my 16. Chris, 15. This is in my mind is the first place where we had a big difference because 15.
Are you about to say lightning?
No, I'm about to say ice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I find ice bending less useful than just regular water bending, not just because it's sub-element. I see more. Maybe it's because I hate cold. Maybe I'm like a racist, but for temperatures specifically hate certain temperatures.
Don't play ice climbers on Smash Bros.
I never. They're so complicated to get good with, Chris. They're so complicated. They are. Also, that NES game isn't even good. It's not a good game. But No,
I thought that was wild there, where like Smash was just like, let's just bring in random characters, Mr. Game and Watch, Rob, and like what? Like no one's like, oh crap, they brought in
finally
these.
Rob. I gotta be honest, Rob in that game is more fun than either of Rob's Nintendo games, and I don't think that's
Yeah,
close either. Those are bad
like
games.
the thing that gives Rob the only thing that people like about Rob is they remind him of J5. Wait, J5? The robot? Remember the movie Robot? I think it was J5. Johnny
Uh,
Five?
no, I'm not familiar.
Johnny? It's a story about a robot that looks. What was that movie called? It was a story
Uh,
about like a scientist. He created this robot that was like. I mean, he wasn't like AI, but he wasn't AI, but he had feelings and thought like
uh,
J5 and
I'm just chat GPT. I was like looking for the movie Short Circuit.
Short
Features a
Circuit.
robot known as Number Five and later Johnny Five.
Johnny Five,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't
Short
find that
Circuit.
myself though. I had to just chat GPT that and hope. Yeah, he does. He looks pretty Rob like. I would
Yeah.
like to point out that the NES's better game with Rob is called Gyromite, and it's 10 times more fun if you just use two controllers instead of the robot. That most likely wouldn't work anyway. So anyway, ice bending, I don't see as much practical use for it as regular water bending or as the other bending elements above it. And also, I don't like to be places where ice is. I don't want to be there. Like I'm like, oh well, Shawn, you could build a house out of ice. Like yeah, but I'm not gonna live there. What the hell? That's stupid. Anyway, I think that's 15, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Yeah, that's my 15.
All right. My 15 is Truth Scene. I also
Mm.
don't care. Like one thing I don't. People think they want to know the truth about things. No,
Nope.
I'm
That's like
Jack
one of those
Nicholson was
deal
right.
with the
You can't.
devil,
You
careful
can't
what you wish
handle the
for.
truth. Yeah, like be careful of what you ask people. They might give you the answer that you didn't want.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
100%.
Uh, number 14 is for me healing. While healing is great, it's a great element. It's very useful. Probably one of the most useful elements that we could use in modern times. I don't know. It's just like healing's always like the boring thing. Like you don't want to be the like if you're on like a on a D&D campaign. Do you want to be the healer?
No, I always want to be something that deals damage. But that being said, I probably need to broaden my horizons. Oh, well, but it doesn't have to be melee damage. Just something that deals damage in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Um, I've got that. You just convinced me I got it too high. No, it's too late. It's already there. Chris, my 14. Wait, no, you're 14. I'm sorry. You go ahead. Right?
Oh, no, 14 was healing for me.
14 is healing for you. For me, it's lava. See ice above. There's not a whole lot of places. The things that I like about lava bending, I think, are more tied to just regular earth bending, which is just the idea of being able to control the temperature of the element that you're bending, like making it hotter or colder. In my little rock house that I'll build as an earthbender, it's like, oh, I don't need HVAC. This is a hot rock over here, and now it's cold rock.
Yeah.
So that's what I like best about lava bending, and I don't really consider that part of it. So lava is my 14, and so 13. I think me.
Mhm.
You could talk me out of this, I think, but I think lightning bending. It's so cool. Where I'm gonna get stuck working in a power plant for the rest of my days. That's the regular use for lightning bending, is providing energy to the world, which sounds great until you have to be the guy that's replaced the hamster wheel.
That's pretty low for one of those, one of the most OP ones. That's like the
It
quickest
is.
element.
It
It's like
is.
it's literally the fastest
Cha-chow.
element while still being deadly.
Cha-chow. Yeah, it.
But
Yeah, it. It was tough.
it's okay.
It
It's
was
all right.
tough.
That's That's your
I
list,
think
your prerogative.
I think there's like a theme to my next four, and they're all pretty interchangeable. But we'll get there when we get there. All right, you're 13.
My 13, body reconstruction. If you don't know what that is the earthbending technique that lets you live, I guess, as long as you want to live. And no, I don't. Immortality sucks. Every time I see something that's like, oh, would you rather? I don't know what it was. I saw something stupid the other day that was like, would you rather make, I don't know, $1 million but live to $1 million a year but live to 80, or $50,000 a year and live to whatever? I'm like, no, I want to die at 80.
80's great.
I don't want to
Well,
die at 80,
no, but
but like if I like that's the goal,
if you
is
get
make
to
it to 80.
80 and you were pretty comfortable there at the end with the money, you're like, all right.
I saw
Absolutely.
I saw this random clip of this old lady. She looked probably 80 something, and like her grandchild, maybe it was great grandchild, that she was like rocking them, and like it was like 4 year old or something, and like, Grandma, how old are you? And she was like, oh, I'm 84. He was like, wow, that's really old. You're about to die. And then she was like, and then the mom was like, Sam, don't say that. And then she was like, I hope so.
Any day
It
now,
was like,
kid.
it's like after a while, dude, like you gotta be like, you're only here, not even of your own will. You're just, I mean, Lois willing, I make it to 80. So
A
it
good a
sounds,
good 80. A good 80. Like still
it sounds really
cognitive and
sadistic, but, or it sounds not cruel, but sad. Yeah, very sad. The other day, I was thinking to myself, what age do I absolutely need to live to? Like, I was like, all right, I need to live to at least my youngest is 22.
okay.
So that's in like 17 years.
Just
So I
think
need
of
to
it
live
like
to at least,
real adulthood. Like they hit.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because like, all right, I need to live to 54. I have to live to at least 54. I want to live longer, of course,
Sure.
but
But you got to start with a respectable goal, and then you've got a reach goal is like, hey, maybe you see your youngest get married. Maybe that's 25. Make it a 57 if you can.
yeah, like right now, like my kids will be a wreck. My wife would be a wreck, and they'll still be a wreck if I was 54, but they'll be a more manageable wreck.
Yeah, but they'll get to have
So
a nice toast to you at their wedding. How touching.
yeah,
Silver. Sorry. Desensitized to death in this house, unfortunately, for better
that's
or
true. You
worse.
guys, me, I think about something too long, and I like start to tear up. I'm like, dang it, Chris, you're thinking about this too hard.
we every once in a while Heather will tell like a touching one, but that's right. Most of the time she's just like, hey, today's person, and she'll just tell stories about their life, just like whatever story their family told or whatever, just so cavalier. And it's like, yeah, it's a shame they're dead, and then you'll hear those words come out of your mouth. I'm like, wow, that was so casual about a real person that was like right there. Anyway, I don't remember where I
All
think
right.
we're in year 12, maybe.
My number 12. Yes, my number 12 is, this is the first. There needs to be a name for. I guess the name is just element. Yeah,
Okay.
this is the first element that I have on my list. It's just water. I am not a big. The only time I feel like I'm a waterbender inside is when I'm swimming, and I'm just like, oh yeah, feel the water. But other than that, no, I don't. There's drowning. There's like, oh, okay, throw water at people. That doesn't seem. Honestly, it could probably be lower on my list, uh, but I don't want to live to forever, and so, so yeah, number 12, water.
I got number 12, and even as I read this, I don't have a good excuse for like it and lightning, but combustion bending, like same concept, super cool. Where's the practical use? I don't know why I put lightning below it. I feel like I could come up with more inventive uses for lightning bending. But tomato, tomato, awesome, mostly combative, I would say. That's my 12.
Yeah.
11, I did energy bending, and I put it higher than the other two. Still kind of same concepts, but I put it higher than the other two. Is I got probably overthinking this one a little bit. It's like I can at least envision some creative uses for this. Like, oh, this is a bad person. I want him to be alive, but I don't want him to be able to hurt people anymore because he's a violent criminal. So I'm gonna energy bend him. No, I struggle with energy bending, but I feel like there are unexplored creative avenues, and I would want to explore them.
It's funny. Energy bending is one of those, it's a sub element, but it's almost like two elements in one. Because there's the energy bending of taking away another person's bending,
Mhm.
and then there's the energy bending that Korra does of like becoming in actual using the energy, her own energy within to become a giant, and also shoot laser beams at people.
That to me, the
It's
kaiju
funny.
energy bending sounds more fun. If we're going with
Yeah,
dangerous fun bendings, that's a good reason to put that higher than combustion or lightning.
yeah.
That was my 11, I think.
All right, my 11. Another element, Earth. Yeah, I don't know. Something about Earth just doesn't. Isn't that out of all?
I take active
Out of
offense to this. Active offense.
out of out of the four elements, no, I would rather. Man, would I rather been if I had to choose between Earth and water? What I would rather have Earth. Yeah, I would
Why
rather
are
have
you
Earth.
actively trying to hurt me right now? Love
I would
Earth.
definitely rather have Earth. That's not. Yeah, that's not saying like everything else above that. I find cooler and would rather have.
I love
Yeah.
earthbending. I'm an earthbender
Num-
to my bones. I'm an earthbender.
I am such an airbender to my like every day. I'm like, man, something just reminds me like I am such a freaking airbender. Like just the other day I was like walking. What was I doing? Oh, something I was reminded. Just when you're driving a car. I remember as a kid rolling down the windows. You just put your hand
Hmm?
outside and just let it go. And also you can kind of control if you cuff your hand a certain way. You can control how the air comes in. You can feel it how it hits your face differently. Like that's the closest you come to feeling like an airbender. Like it's like it feels so at ease. And I used to like climb trees just to sit up there and feel the breeze. Could just sit. Yeah, I'm such an air. Anyway,
Mm.
we're not talking about air right now.
Yeah, I'll talk about it next. No, that's not true. That's too harsh. I'm sorry. I take that back.
My number 10 is lava. I like lava bending, like a lot. Think it's cool. It is one of the most like harmful bending because you can't hit you putting hot lava on someone that is burning and that is close to death.
That sucks.
Um,
Not for you, for that person.
but it's cool element. Also creating like I like how they create disc and stuff. It's not yeah, it's cool element as in hot.
My number 10 of the ones that I consider kind of wildly dangerous, my favorite is bloodbending. In terms of just like if I was going to be evil, I think bloodbending would be the path that I would go. And maybe not outwardly, maybe it'd just be more like Amon subtly. Like, I think we had that discussion before of is he really good at martial arts or is he just giving himself the slight unnoticed advantage? It'd be stuff like that. That'd be the type of bloodbender I would want to be. Not outwardly cruel, just like screwing with people. No, but I'd still use my evil power to fight bad guys specifically, Bloodbending of the
Yeah.
of the dangerous ones. That's my go-to. Number 9, I have seismic sense. Not precognition, but I do like the idea of I'm such a nervous guy. It'd be nice to close my eyes in public and not have to worry about
Oh,
like who's by
that
me, who's around me, why, where, how close.
that what's dumb for me is that I would like to just close my eyes, but keep going. But it sounds like almost offensive to blind people. Like, oh, taking it for granted.
Did these guys just ask to be blind? No,
Yeah,
no.
these guys are a-holes. You will have to close. Glad you got that option to close your eyes.
You
But
may
like,
go
I'll
ahead
be
whenever you
walking.
want. Just
I'll be. Now I'm thinking of a of a of a Stevie Wonder joke. I sorry. Dr. Dre was on like a Kevin Hart podcast, and Dr. Dre was talking about how working with Stevie Wonder is. And Dr. Dre was like, "In this mother effort, like, he'll call you up at 3 o'clock in the morning," and then Dr. Dre was like, "Just because you can't see the time, don't mean I'm gonna be." And then, like Kevin Hart, and then Kevin Hart was like, "Dre, what the?"
oh,
And
that's
it just
amazing.
cracked. It like broke the interview. Kevin Hart couldn't go for a while.
I I would have done the same thing. No, I just so you know we were talking about like astral projection earlier being good for reconnaissance. Like, all right, how nice would it be to like stand on one side of a wall or a door or whatever and just kind of know what's going in the other
Yes.
side of things? It's middle of the road, right? I don't want to overhype it, but I like it. That's my 9.
Yeah. That's a good point. So I had seismic sense nets slightly below spirit projection at 16, 17. But that's a good point. I'll probably switch it in hindsight because
I especially think
while you
a
can do
creative.
reconnaissance,
I think a creative guy such as yourself would also find fun or helpful uses for seismic sense. I just haven't thought
yeah,
of with spirit project, or I don't see with spirit projection.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
spirit
No,
projection would only be fun if you wanted to screw with people. Like if you wanted to haunt somebody's house or something. Like, okay, I
yeah.
guess.
Or I guess you can go flying. If you want to experience what flying is like, not that Janora does that, but she floats all the time, so I'm guessing she can fly
But should it make
and
do you
see how
get the
that.
sensation of flying, or do you just is it just
That is true.
your
That is, yeah,
your internal?
probably not.
I I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, seismic sense. I
All
think
right,
we're
my
on to
number
your 9.
9.
Yeah.
Yes, my number 9. Your number 10 was blood bending. My number 9 is blood bending. I would love it because you can control people, and that's cool.
Chris,
But
I'm such an
also,
airbender. Also, Chris, be cool to control people with their blood.
well, thing is, I don't think of it as like you're controlling you're just controlling their body. That being able to just like imagine for some reason Tara using blood bending is more scary than just like Jean Grey using telepathy to raise somebody. It's
Fair
the
enough.
same
Fair enough.
thing.
Maybe it's just the
But
connotation of like blood bending. You know, it just didn't sound good.
yeah. But also, you can end fights pretty quickly. Just cut circulation real quickly to the brain, they're unconscious.
Yeah.
Like it's
A good de-escalator for sure.
yeah.
Hey, let's all take a minute to take a nap, and we'll revisit this when we wake up.
Yeah. All right, my number 8 is energy bending. This is mostly just from love of like Dragon Ball Z and stuff, and being it has nothing to do with being able to take bending away. All to do with being able to shoot energy projectiles and blast
Okay.
and stuff. It's just Dragon Ball Z, almost superhero things.
Kaiju style. Nice. What are we at? 8.
8.
Oh, 8. I did healing water. I mostly thought of this one as like I'd probably mostly use it on other people. Open up a little clinic, you know, and just hey, you got some water? No, that's cool. I got it. Here you go. Hope you feel better. See ya. Would not be the most exciting, but I don't know. I could get into it probably. I could patch Adams a little bit. It's my 8. 7. I don't mean any offense by this, but Chris Air is my least favorite of the 4 regular elements. I don't.
Least favorite, huh?
It is my least favorite. I don't know what I would do with it. I'd mostly use it to be like goofy Aang stuff. Not.
But think about riding on a glider.
That's why I put the other one the related one higher.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, right. That's
Kind
I
of,
want to spoil it. That's why I put that one higher. Is because yeah, that sounds awesome. But just airbending, I don't know. I'd probably use it to do goofy stuff mostly. I'm sure I would. Again, its creative possibilities are there, but eh. And I also just don't really embody the whole airbending spirit. Like if people saw me like running along walls agilely or something, like that doesn't fit Shawn's motif whatsoever. He should be tripping and falling and stuff.
it's funny. I often think about like what element my kids are, and then see my daughter's probably. I don't know. She's a teenager now. She's more stubborn.
Yeah, it's
But I
probably
think
she's.
probably that's unrelated. My oldest son, he's air. Like he's more of an airhead. Like he can be just off by himself in his own world, untethered to whatever else is going on. And then my youngest, he brought more of a fire to earth.
Got some spice to him.
Yeah, he got some aggression in there, but he's not as aggressive and angry as he used to be. For for a
Phases,
baby.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a baby. He's about to turn 5. Holy crap, he's about to turn 5.
That's wild. And then Kenzie's terrified a teenager, right? One thing today, another thing tomorrow. What number
She's
is it?
definitely not a waterbender. I know that. Like when the goat's swimming or something, like, I feel water in my eye. Like just wipe it off. Use your hands and wipe it off. Quit being a baby. Tell this to all my kids. Oh, I need a towel. Just close your eyes and wipe the water away. It's not that hard.
Chalk me up for putting Kenzie as a firebender. I'll go fire.
Hmm.
What number?
No, no, I'll have to ask her.
Yeah. Hey,
We
yeah,
are
we tell
on.
let her decide. Let her tell the sorting hat.
I think. Oh, was it my turn?
I just did air, and that was my 1, 2, 3, 4. That was my 7. So, yep. So
Okay.
you're 7.
Yeah. All right. My number 7 is ice. So many cool people who have ice powers. Like specifically, there are more cool people who have ice powers than just water powers. Frozone, Elsa, Sub Zero, Bobby Drake, the Iceman.
Oh.
Who else? Black people don't. I'm looking at a picture of black superheroes. It's not a real superpower that black people have. Lightning is. Who else has ice powers? There's a superhero named Ice. Ice is so cool though. Like, just Sub Zero alone, and the way he uses ice powers is cool. Also, I used to make superheroes. When I was a little kid. I had a superhero named Freezer, who of course had ice powers, who was just a blatant ripoff of Sub Zero. I don't even know who's not. I mean, what? Nothing's original.
No, everything. Well, and if he was a superhero and he's a ripoff of Sub Zero, it's like, oh well, he was a counterpoint.
Yeah, and then you got Mr. Freeze, Killer Frost. Yeah, Ice is such a cool Icicle Junior. Another Flash villain, Captain Cold. Ice is a cool freaking superpower, and it's great.
I think we both have mixed feelings on the movie Frozen. But if I was gonna go ice, I'd go like Elsa Ice. I'd like nuts. I'd buy into it. Own it. Go crazy. That's the route I'd take.
I don't care for the movie Frozen.
I don't either. Yeah. That's why
It,
mixed
it
feelings
made,
for me. Like
made
I get
me.
it, but I don't.
I only like it because it made me some bonuses.
True. It moved some
I,
products.
I remember planning that shoe, the athletic one, the girls Velcro athletic light up, and I remember at our floor plan. No, that's not what they call it. Floor planning.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Line review.
Not floor plan.
Anyway, line review. I want to say maybe floor plan. But
line
the vice
review probably
president.
since it's been too long.
Yeah, she was like, I remember the VP was like, protect protect that Elsa. I was like, I got it. I'm trying to average 36 pairs per store, and I got to do it in like a 3 velocity. Was it 3 or a 4? Probably 4, because
Yeah.
you want like a 10% sell off every week. Yeah.
Best bet.
Just to put it in perspective, the average shoe has about probably 13 pairs per store, somewhere around there, depending on the shoe.
Almost all of my memories from my time were just it was all that Barbados stuff. Like we need huge sizes, and our ports or what are the distribution centers? No, what's the other thing called? Can't hold any.
DC. No, yeah.
The other in between place can't hold anything at all, and also the huge sizes. There's like one per box. We need 8 per box. You can't ship them all the other sizes. I don't need those sizes. It's like, what am I supposed to do? It's figure it out. No, nobody said figure it out. Everybody's just like, do your best. Okay. Can I get cases of size 13 only, please? Anyway,
Um,
long time ago. Long time ago. I think
my
Raj, you're
sits.
6th.
Yeah, my sits. Air. I know it's kind of weird for me to only put it. At sits.
I think that's just, being the best versus
Uh,
being the one that you vibe the most with. That's
yeah, true.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, love airbending. It is. I think my list is probably comprised of what my favorites are, and also what is probably the most best scene in the show, and just a cross reference of other different criteria. But in the show, just airbending is kind of the weakest. Probably definitely the weakest. But man, just airbending itself, I think is cool. Being very agile. It feels like the element that is the most tied with the person's personality or spirituality, and yeah, air is cool.
That's one of the questions that Gio asks is like, so they're bending. Well, and at this point, he was like being a jerk to be funny. Is like, what are they bending in there? Is it specific? Are they just bending oxygen, nitrogen? What are they? I was like, I don't know. Ask Chris. He's probably got it figured out somewhere. He's got beautiful mind chart with atomic shit on it and some whiteboard in his house.
But, yeah, I mean, I would guess it's just oxygen, honestly. And then you can move whatever particles is around it, depending on how big.
You're bumping it along. Oxygen is the easiest one, or isn't? Which one's like 80% of the atmosphere? Is that oxygen? I was thinking it was a different one.
Hydrogen.
Let me see.
Is it carbon
percentages? How much of our atmosphere? It's probably a stupid. Like somebody's out there yelling at us right now. Is oxygen? 20%. Oh, it's some nitrogen. Like gaseous nitrogen is 78%. So maybe it's nitrogen.
Oh, okay.
In its gaseous form. Anyway, that's another question he asked. I had no idea. It's like, yeah, you gotta take these questions to Chat GPT or something, Gio. You're killing me here. My number 6 is I went selfish. Is body reconstruction. Chris, hear me out. Immortality sucks, but I want my X years to be good. And then when I decide
that's true.
And then when I decide it's time to go, like, all right, I'll pull the plug.
Huge decline.
Yeah, it's like, well, and Chris, I
gotta be honest. Like, we've never seen this before. This 82-year-old was a perfect fit of health, and he just completely crapped the bed at 83. Organ failures everywhere.
Well, and when I said pull the plug, Chris, I might deconstruct that bad boy when I'm ready to go. It's like, you know what? I did my last thing. I want to go out my way. I'm gonna help it along a little bit. I don't know.
Have I ever told you about the hypothetical health pill that I would come up with? Like, I would pose this question to people in health insurance, because I work in health insurance. Of like, all right, if there was a pill that you could take that would heal all of it would just heal everything in you, right? No, you won't get any diseases, anything. You might get occasional cold or something like that. One thing, because your body needs Anyway, you won't get any diseases, but at 80, it automatically kills you.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it
I'd
will.
take it.
Yeah,
I'd take it.
absolutely. Yeah. Mhm.
No
And then
question.
people are like, well, yeah, well, when I turn like right before I turn 80, I can go out and do whatever. I can jump off a building.
I think it becomes a more interesting question is after that you start asking a year younger, right? Find where people's line is. Given current state of the economy and projected retirement ages, like man, anything lower than 75, I'd say no. But 75 and up, I'd say yeah. Give me the pill. Let's go. Let's have 75 good ones.
Yeah. I
Anyways,
mean, with with my the average, I don't think none of my grandparents live past 75. No, I don't think any of them live past 7.
I had a
Although
grandma
I do have
scratch 81 or 2.
I do have a great grandma who lived to 100. Uh, but yeah, I mean the rest probably had like very bad health issues that I don't think I would replicate because I have better insurance and better technology and better everything. I mean, I'm not taking care of myself great right now, but
Sure, sure. You say as you're an uncomfortable ice cream pain.
it's
Anyway,
more season. Darn it!
anyway, body reconstruction. Chris, just remember, it's not a curse. It's a choice. It would be a tough choice. Let's not
It
belittle that.
that is true. Yeah,
But it
it
is
is
a
one of
choice.
those things that people are like, "Oh, well, like Wolverine's power." Like, no, Wolverine can't
He can't.
die.
No, that is a
Like he
curse.
is. Yeah, yeah.
That is an actual curse. And then when he starts to die, God, Logan. I don't know if I appreciated Logan enough in its time. Like, what a horrible thing when it starts to happen, and you've lived all these centuries, and now it's slow and agonizing and awful. And what a good movie. My number 5 is Water. I like water. I'm a big Maslow's hierarchy of fundamental needs guy, or whatever the name of that triangle is, and water's pretty pretty foundational in that pyramid. I think you could use water in some fun ways. I envision making. I don't even know how to say it. What am I trying to get at? I envision like, oh, I need to cut something. It's like, all right, well, I just spin up a little water blade and cut through something. Like, I don't know why I envision
Uh-huh.
these stupid little things like that for water in particular. But I use a lot of water in my day to day life, and I think I'd find some fun and some practical. But still number 5 below several other more interesting ones.
All right, my number 5 is combustion bending. Um, it's one of the most powerful elements, noted by just there being 3 of them controlled on the one person could throw off the balance of the whole world. Apparently, which I mean, I bought. It's not that I didn't buy that. Then I bought it because one thing it was like a new thing. And it was like, how the heck do you stop this thing that's like a thunder sounds like a thunderclap and um it's
I
interesting because if there was like yeah
I loved that they were carrying the box to like the what do you call it, the bait and switch or whatever, like when they were carrying the box on purpose, the crate.
yeah
That's great.
one of these days I gotta re-listen to the Yang Chen novels. I don't think I've revisited them at all since. No, I haven't.
I have
I
not
did. I mean,
revisited either.
yeah. I mean, I've ran through the Kyoshi novels like at least twice, maybe 3 times. The next Roku novel doesn't come out until October, and it's like whatever. I'm not looking forward. It
Yeah.
sounds me. It's like
Yeah.
I already know the. How much more do you want to tell me? And also, the last one didn't knock my socks off either.
Nope.
So
Nope. Uh, I liked a few ideas therein, and that's what I'm
yeah,
gonna say about that.
yeah.
I probably done the first
All right.
Kyoshi novel 3 times and the second one 2 times, like because I read it once, right, and then when the second one came, I reread the first one right before,
Yeah,
and then one audiobook since. But
I'm mad at my daughter. She still hasn't finished it yet, and she'll never finish it. Thing is, she hasn't even gotten to the good part of the book yet. Like I'm still like, so what was the book about? She's like, Kyoshi might be the avatar. I'm like, what is Kyoshi's goal, main goal in the book? She's like, to protect you,
Does
I
she
guess.
does she like to read,
So
or is
she,
she
no, she's not a big. She
okay?
likes to read manga.
Okay,
If it was a manga, she'll read that in a week.
chip off the old block then. All right,
Yeah, that's true.
reading words is hard, man. I'm not good at it either.
I mean, that is the thing is like, it is it's a skill that you pick up to take the words and then envision it in your brain and happening as it's happening, which is why you gotta start reading early. I mean, I don't mind. Actually, my daughter started reading really early.
I
Anyway.
well, and if you're easily distractible, and I know I am, I think it's not that I'm not imaginative. I have a pretty good ability to picture things as I'm reading, but I'm so distractible that I
Mhm.
gotta be in like in a literal noise-proof safe to read a book.
Yeah.
I think we're on your
My
four.
4.
Okay.
Yes. My number 4 is fire. Uh, fire is like to me. Fire is like it is it's the most probably the most superhero-ish power. Even though I just went through a whole litany of ice users, but fire. So many fire. Like fire just feels like I don't know. It just feels like the
The
most natural fighting
quintessential,
element.
like, what am I trying to say? It's like it's not supernatural, but it feels like it. Like just the
Yeah.
fire by itself.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Just fire. Yeah. Something just cool about like being able to throw a fireball. I get that like it's a dangerous element. Like the show somehow skirts around people getting hit with fireballs being fine.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, they brush it
but
off like nothing. In fact, some of them
yeah,
whip it away with their gliders like it's a baseball.
I have a theory that well for if for firebenders like right so like they don't burn their hands. Their hands are never burned. But I have a theory that like there is a invisible force of chi around that doesn't harm you from your own fire, at least in your hands in certain extremities. But yeah,
There's a
random.
phenomenon. No, I kind of like where you're headed. There's a phenomenon that like Chris, you know when you're standing still, and then you start moving your arms and your arm, and it feels colder. And what it is like something to do with the surface area of your skin and the air around it is more likely to be not moving. So it's like, oh, that's the same temperature everywhere, but it feels colder. It's like, no, because the air right by
Yeah.
your skin is closer to the temperature of your body, and then you're moving it around or whatever. It's like, yeah, so it's a little chi force around their hands. And
You know what I didn't realize? You know how you go like that's hot breath,
yeah,
right? Like
and
but it's cold. Like
why? Why
it's
is
just
that?
because the speed of the air, like the faster it goes, for some reason, is colder.
The more it causes more agitation, so it's okay. Yeah,
Maybe. Oh yeah, and maybe it's not necessarily colder, but it's colder against the surface area of your
yeah,
skin.
okay,
But
okay.
yeah,
Whereas hot, you're just getting the temperature of the
yeah,
inside temp. That's weird.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's, the more you know.
Hashtag science.
But yeah, 4 is fire.
My four is flight. I probably don't like it quite as much as most people, but I hate traffic. I don't like waiting in line. Anything I could avoid with flight, I would abuse it for the stupidest thing. People be like, Shawn, why are you flying 2 houses down? Because it's faster than walking, stupid. What do you think? Like everything, I would abuse it. It could be one of maybe the top 2 or 3 most like I can see myself using it every single day.
You
Absolutely.
would you would have to know how high you're going
Hmm?
because you might run into a plane. So like there's like certain like 10,000 below probably. Yeah, 10,000 feet. Yeah, that's probably
I
safe.
in my head, I know flight we think of Zahir like flying away, and he's going with some speed, and I get that speed is part of it, and I want that. But I also like think when I say flight as a bending, like a complete control of myself in the air,
Hmm.
like I don't know, like a Transformers robot, of like the ability to hover up there and shift and maneuver, like not just flying in a straight line, right? But
Yeah.
complete control of myself in the air, and I think that would be awesome. So that's my four.
Yeah.
My three is fire. All the things you just said, cool, pragmatic. Use it to create energy. Use it to not create energy. Use it to practical uses. Use it to cook my steaks exactly the temperature that I want my steaks.
Oh.
Use it's big. That's big to me. Um, I think
What type of grill do you have?
okay. I have a propane grill, but I am not a believer in grilling. I'm a cast iron guy, Chris. I think cast iron produces some of the best flavors in cooking. That's weird, but
I
that's
just, I just each summer I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy a grill this year, like for the past 3 years. And this year I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I don't want charcoal because I'm gonna be terrible at trying to maintain the
sure.
right heat and stuff. No, screw that. And so like it had to be propane. But I listen to pellet.
Hmm?
And, that's like electrical, but Chris fire. But also I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend that much money on it. Like, how committed am I to this?
I would vouch for pellet because I think if you grill and you're opposed to what I'm about to say, and let's chat, educate me a bit. In my experience, propane grilling does not really add any kind of flavor to the hamburger that I couldn't have just
Mm,
done on a regular skillet.
yeah,
And I'd
that
so
was the thing that I was thinking about. Yeah.
and so I would say either go charcoal because you're serious and you're gonna get good, or you're not, and then okay, maybe you gotta spend the extra $100 and go pellets to get the smokiness, but with
Yeah.
better, easier.
Control.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Pellet. I would suggest pellet, but
I
uneducated.
was thinking about because I mean, yeah, I was thinking about because to me, propane just seems like, yeah, I just turned on a fire that's outside.
Yeah,
Like there's like what's the flavor build in it? Like charcoal, like I get it, and
I know that
then
open flame probably produces a slightly different flavor than a
mm,
skillet, but not one that I
yeah,
notice unusually, and certainly not as good as again a cast iron pan seasoned with lots of butter.
yeah, you can't put butter on a grill.
No,
That is
uh, my vote's pellet. My vote's pellet, but it's your
okay.
your dough. But
Yeah, just depends how much I'm gonna actually spend on it.
so yeah, for
Ugh.
cooking, home defense, some pragmatic uses of could do some good with it. I think. And it's fire. It's just cool. I think that firebending is one of those things you could wake up every day of your life and just not get bored by the fact that you're a firebender.
Mm. I did forget. I used to be somewhat of a pyromaniac when I was a
I
kid.
am still a bit of a pyromaniac. I still got
Like
problems.
I used to go on the side of my house and take matches and like because wow, I must have a problem there because I remember I used to do it in the kitchen, just in the middle of the kitchen. I would just and then watch it go out, or I would light it and then turn on the sink and watch the water extinguish it. And then my dad came in. He was like, "Have you been lighting matches?" I'm like, because he can smell that
Sure.
matches have been. And then he didn't. I didn't get in trouble. I mean, he sternly talked to me. I mean, he didn't whip me or anything like that. But I say in such a cavalier way. But and so to hide the smell, I would take the matches outside and light them outside. So I must have been such a problem that my dad's warning did not cause me to. What caused me to stop was that I had lit a match, and like I think it lit too close to my finger, and I threw it. I just threw it on the ground. Um, I took it and threw anyway.
Threw it
And
on
so
the ground.
I threw it on the ground, and my mind was like, "Oh crap! I could have caused a big fire. I could have threw this at like leaves and stuff." But it fell into a tire that had water in it. Like it just happened to. The thing is, a little match. Well, I guess it depends on
Been time of year.
the,
I mean,
yeah, the
Oklahoma
time of year.
goes through some pretty bad dry spells. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And so like that one scare of me being like, "Oh, I could have done something really bad." I stopped lighting matches.
I
But I
don't.
did have. I think my father had a problem.
I love a good bonfire, and not a bonfire like, oh, let's like have people over and sit around and eat hot dogs and drink beer. What I was like, okay, those two, sure, but I also just like a bunch of brush into a pile and set it on fire. Uh, my moment was I was older. I don't know how old, but old enough that I should have already had a better respect for it. But I didn't douse the like some ashes properly. And Chris, I scooped them out of the fire pit, right? Because the fire pit was getting too full, and I was going to dump them in like a ditch next to a fence that we had. And it was still like hot enough that it started cindering, like smoldering the wooden
Oh,
fence. And I
yeah.
saw it out the window, like
Holy
smoking.
crap!
I know, right? Could have set a fence on fire. And so I, ran out and stopped it. But like that was after I shoveled it, like doused it a little, not good enough, obviously, and shoveled it and moved it, and it's still just the heat. Gets
Mm.
hotter and hotter under there. And Gio's showing me basketball scores, but I'm not going to say it out loud to not spoil
Yeah,
anything.
don't, I'm
Oh, yeah.
recording it.
Oh, York. Okay, got nothing. Nothing then. Nothing. Uh, did you watch the one earlier? I didn't see that one either, Chris.
I did. Yeah,
You did. Okay.
yeah. Pacer lost.
Pacers lost. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
that good because that's going to be a weird series if something didn't happen. Anyway, long story short, I had my come to Jesus moment. Probably older than I should have been. Not probably, definitely. Anyway, don't play with fire.
Looking back, yeah, looking back, there was definitely. I might have been a crazy kid. Now that I think about it, I once got twice. I got in the front seat of my parents' car and just went. My mom one time left us in the car where she went to the grocery store, and so I go in the front seat and I put it in. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just and then the car goes out to the middle of the. It's just slowly backing into the middle of the street. I really have no memory of this, but apparently someone came out and helped us
Apparently.
as they saw. As they saw. And then I did that another time. My mom parked the car in the driveway, and I get in the car and I do the same thing. But this time I put on my older sister outside, and I put on the brakes. She's like, "What are you doing?" And then she got in the car, and she put on the brakes and put it in park. And like my parents never said anything about why the car was up here in the driveway, but then was backed.
They each assumed that the
Cars
other
back.
parent did it for sure. Each one. They're just like,
Yeah,
oh, she moved it for something.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, all right. What are we on?
I think you're three.
3. My three is flight.
Okay.
Flight's great.
Yeah.
It's like the quintessential power people wish for. Would love to have it. Yeah, just the freedom that comes with it. And yeah, it's just man, it'll be the most fun element, I think. Without it, yeah, that the most fun element.
The airbenderiest thing that you could do. Just like fly up into the air to a comfortable temperature and just float. Just be there.
Yeah. Oh
Levitate up
man,
in space.
I'm
Well, not space,
I'm
space.
I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping 20 feet in the air all the time, taking
Oh, if
naps.
you could do it, asleep, right? Like subconscious flight.
Yeah.
Until you
Yeah.
start sleep flying, that's gonna get messy. It's like,
That's
where's Dad? I went a little too high on the sleep again.
He's,
He'll
he
be.
he slept for 8 hours and the world turned. Actually, I think he was.
Honestly, that would be funny if you got 8 hours worth of turn. You're like, landed in what's 8 hours? Oh, Italy. Yeah, 7 hours right now. Right?
Yeah.
Seven time zones different. You landed in Italy. Gotta get back home. Um,
Number 2.
Awesome.
My number 2 is metal.
Great choice.
Some of my favorite
Great choice.
superheroes are metal benders. Even though they call them metal benders, they're just magnetism is really the power that they use. From static to magneto, uh, metal is it's destructive, and it's very controlling. Like it's very powerful, especially in the modern age. Of like nothing could hurt you because every weapon is made of metal. It's like, oh, you got guns, okay. I don't care nothing. Like, oh, I can easily bind you with anything really around us. Metal, so cool.
Fantastic. My number 2 is Earth, and Chris, I like everything modular. I like the idea of just like as I need, like I need another room in the house today to do this activity. There it is. I need I need this kind of space. I need this defense. I need projectiles. A a means of travel, but it's kind of cheating, like flight. Right when they like airbend the thing that they're standing on, feels like cheating.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna go with it and say, it's like a cool hoverboard. Um, there's so many things that like my favorite parts about bending that kind of originate in earthbending. And I can't get over just the idea of like just making something out of the finest, sand or earth or whatever, just as I need it, and then it's gone. I love it. I don't know why. Um, the earth is my playground, pun intended.
mm-hmm.
And then my number 1 is metal for all the reasons that you just said. I think Zaofu is maybe one of the best parts about Korra altogether. Is like, no, that's perfect. That's exactly how that shit would go down for me as well. As I'd build a city. But this is what we did. Stopping everything, not stopping everything. The ability to stop or prevent or redirect, block most things. The villain, Gio's in here, so I can't spoil. The villain of season 4, the way that he or she uses metal bending, I think is fun and creative.
Yeah,
I love it. There's metal bending is like the peak of practical plus violent plus cool plus everything. Everything metal bending. That's my 1.
yeah, absolutely. My number 1 is lightning bending, and that is very stereotypically black of me because like lightning is like it's a I don't know why,
Yeah, but
but
if we're
so
on
many black
stereotypes,
superheroes.
you ranked water pretty low too, right, Chris? Is that how? Anyway, sorry.
I love swimming. I do love swimming. I used to love swimming all the time. Um,
And I don't. So here we are breaking
only,
stereotypes.
only out of my family. Oh shoot! Out of my family growing up, only 3 of us knew how to swim. In my family, my wife doesn't know how to swim, and none of my kids do because they're never around pools. And I didn't do that thing that some parents do where their kids are like babies and
Just throw them into the water.
yeah, hand them off to some instructor, and the instructor's like,
Pull.
"You don't want to be here to see this."
This is
It's
gonna
like
hurt you more than it's gonna hurt them.
like I'm going to possibly kill your. Feels like I'm gonna kill your baby. Like anytime I see those videos, I'm like, nah.
It's hard to
I'm
watch
good.
that with other people's kids. Can you imagine being the person who had to do it? Like, I'm just gonna throw this baby in that pool.
Who came up with it? Who looked like guys?
Psychopath.
Listen.
Probably the same person that invented the lobotomy. If I had to guess, same person.
Yeah. Trust me on this. The human body knows how to swim instinctively. Let me see your baby.
Give me the baby. And the first person, the first person did. The first person's like, oh, he seems like he knows what he's doing. As the second person's like, I do.
But lightning. Well,
I do know how to swim. I don't really care for it. I'm more of a float in an inner tube type.
Oh yeah, floating's great.
Yeah,
floating's so good.
Floating's peak.
That was the best thing about being in wherever I was at, Bimini, Bahamas, because salt water helps you float. I can't float. I thought I figured out how to float when I went. I was like, well, I knew the salt was helping me, but I thought, I figured it out even even more. Like the salt's almost like training
Yeah,
wheels.
you learned how to
So
find your center when you're laying back. Yeah.
yeah, but I went somewhere and was like, no, I'm drowning. No, I'm drowning. I can't do it. Someone needs to add some salt in this water so I can float.
Oh, jeez.
But lighting, love lightning bending. It is like, oh man, it's a superpower that I really wish I had. Like I really just the ability for of lightning. Something to, I can't even.
Can we
Something about
discuss
lightning and
if I'm much more attracted to it if there's more control over it, right? But in the show, they always present it so much as like a as
you're
like
just unleashing a lightning
yes.
strike.
But like what
Essentially.
if it was controllable, I'd be much more interested, be much more high on my
So,
list.
so the only one that actually, so to me, most lightning benders don't bend lightning; they just release it. The only one who is actually like bending lightning to their will is Azula. Like Azula can make balls of lightning. She can make projectiles. She can shoot it and control it in a different way. Like no one else, everyone else just unleashes a lightning strike in a direct thing from their hand, while Azula can control it a lot better. So I would take it either way, but like you gotta have it the way Azula does it. Azula can also do it like in small portions. Like she has the best control of lightning than any character.
That to me is way more appealing. Like, hey, crap, I didn't charge my controller. Here we go. You need a jump? Like here you are. There you are. Uh,
Yeah,
to
you don't
have
want to shoot a bolt of lightning at your car at any
oh, Chris,
like.
it's gonna work. Trust me. Just like that time you saw
Uh,
that car on fire at what was recent, right? Was that Hanover or something like that?
no, Subway.
Subway. Oh, Hanover was where you
Yeah,
saw the other thing. Never mind.
no, that was IHOP.
Oh, it was
That was
IHOP?
IHOP.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Funny. I took Gio to a Waffle House at like 2 a.m. on our way to the plane. I was like, it's a rite of passage. Let's go to a Waffle House, 2 a.m. See if there's a fight. There wasn't a fight. It was a decent Waffle House.
To me, Waffle House is so overrated.
It is. It is. But I gotta be honest. I say the same thing about IHOP. Like they're just decent breakfast restaurants, which is fine. Uh, I'd
I
pick.
put IHOP on a way higher level than to me the Waffle House. Like their waffles are good, but like but also you're more of a waffle person than I am, and so
Waffles are better first
oh
and foremost.
KFC's. I had KFC's chicken and waffles. Their waffles are actually I really like their
Do this.
waffles.
Um,
Yeah.
I love chicken waffles, but I still want my syrup on the side because I don't want the syrup on my chicken. But as a meal, it's like a top three meal for me probably.
It's like cinnamon rolls and chili.
I want them together but separate. Which now that I say that out loud, is one of those things that
I
sounds pretty bad to voice.
You know what? Last time I had cinnamon rolls and chili, I actually was like, you know what? Let me try it together. Let me just see, because some people eat it together, and so I did, and I was like, you know what? It's not bad.
But is it better than having them separate?
Just
Yeah.
uh, it just gives you a little different. It's I would never eat the whole meal like that, but I was
Yeah.
just like, all right, I got a couple of bites that I want to play around with. It wouldn't be the first bite, and it wouldn't be the last bite.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Palate cleanser on each side, a sorbet, if you will.
Yeah.
Chicken waffles is just, in a literal sense, two of my favorite foods together. It's
Mm.
fantastic. Where's the best chicken waffles I ever had? Probably a question for a different day, but maybe in an airport in Atlanta, Georgia. Airport food is always overpriced, and sometimes it's just not as good as the not airport versions of the same restaurants. But whatever restaurant we
Yeah.
ate at, maybe it's because I was starving. That was delicious. Chicken and waffles. What's the name of that restaurant? I'll find it later. Lightning bending.
You got that.
Uh, that's our every sub bending and bending type ranked ever. Gio, quick, what's the best type of bending?
I'd say earth bending too.
Earth bending. He's a practical guy. He gets it. He gets it. Okay, but would you rather earthbend or metal bend? So not earthbend and metal bend. It's like, no, you got to pick.
Earthbend.
You rather earthbend? Okay.
I like just creating a wall.
I do too. I just like the idea of building sandcastles, but that are massive. Absolutely. Oh, also, we decided while you were gone that airbenders bend nitrogen, specifically gaseous, into nitrogen. We formalized it in our headcanon. It's important stuff. Gio, finish Korra so we could talk about it. Anyway.
Started today.
Oh, you started season 4?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That's our bending rate. Thanks for listening in. Leave comments, likes, thumbs ups, click on bells, positive reviews, all that stuff. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much for doing that. My name's Shawn Shaler. That's Chris Ford. And we will see you next time, maybe to talk about Korra with Gio. We'll see.
Goodbye.